When booting up Escape from Tarkov for the first time, or any game for that matter, having your keybinds set exactly the way you want them is very, very important. And in Escape from Tarkov, when opening that list of keybinds, it can be very overwhelming for new players. Once you're familiar with keybinds, if you're new to PC, choosing a keybind isn't that difficult. However, in Tarkov, the amount of options for binding and the way the descriptions are written can be misleading or confusing to somebody who's coming from a game like Rainbow Six or Call of Duty. Tarkov has so many more keybinds in addition to your normal keybinds like aiming, shooting, and movement. And in addition to this, the way that things like ammo and reloading work are very different than in other games. I felt like in my goal of bringing newer players closer to where the bulk of the Tarkov community is, it was really important to go over what the different keybind options that are available, what they do, and different options that I've seen a lot of people use throughout their time playing. Hopefully this can make the process of jumping in and closing the gap between you and your friends, or between you and the rest of the community, much easier. And for experienced players, maybe some of the implications of these binds will be helpful as well. This is Lost in Tarkov, a collection of videos specifically designed for helping new players progress and become more comfortable in an unforgiving game so that they can hopefully find their own place in the Tarkov community. Before I go any further, I would like to mention that we are 3/4 of the way to one of our first major milestones on this channel, which is 1,000 subscribers. So if you've been watching the videos and are really enjoying them, it would mean a ton to me if you could subscribe, just showing me that you want to see more stuff like this. This would also help me be able to put more time into these videos and have more time to make more videos like this. It's time to dive into the different keybinds of Tarkov, which ones are different from other games, which ones are very relevant, which ones are vital, and which ones are optional in your time in Tarkov. We will be splitting up these keybinds into different groups so that they can be addressed individually while staying relevant to the overall conversation and section that we're talking about. The first group of binds we'll be covering are the movement binds. So we'll be skipping over the self-explanatory ones that are the same in most games, and only be covering the ones that are a little bit different from other games or may be doing different things than other games did. The first thing to know about Escape from Tarkov in terms of movement is that, similar to games like Rainbow Six Siege, Escape from Tarkov offers a lean mechanic in the game. So if you're coming from different games other than Rainbow Six, a lot of them do not offer this lean mechanic. So the first couple of binds that will be important to know are Q and E. Q and E lean left and right respectively. In addition to the regular leaning, there is an option in this game called smooth leaning. This is essentially what I would call a gradual lean, so you can kind of control exactly how far you lean rather than leaning to the full effect like Q and E. Rather than leaning all the way right or all the way left, you can basically micro adjust your lean to allow for the best tactical positioning in your current position. This bind is default set to the left alt key and then using either the A or D key for leaning in your respective direction. With this gradual lean mechanic introduced, we want to take this same concept and apply it in a few different areas so that we can understand how different things in Tarkov work. Firstly, in addition to the gradual lean, you can micro adjust your walking speed using your middle mouse wheel. So you can adjust it to faster or slower, and this will change how much sound you make based on the speed at which you're walking. In addition to being able to gradually adjust it, there is a keybind to immediately adjust from the fastest to the slowest or slowest to the fastest, and that is default set to caps lock. Continuing on with the same concept of the gradual adjustments, you can adjust your stand or crouch heights between a few different heights to allow you to peer over or hide behind different objects. You do this by using the crouch key combined with the middle mouse wheel, just like you would for your speed. This can be helpful along with the gradual leans to get the exact height and angle around a corner that you are intending on holding. However, one caveat to this is that if you are not in the full standing position, your speed will be limited to the max speed of whatever the crouch position speed is, unless you tap sprint when attempting to move again. The next movement bind that we're going to address here is the sidestep or the roll. It can be different things based on what your current position is, whether you're prone or crouched or standing. The bind is default set to left alt and either Q or E. In the stand position, this will have you step to the left or right and then back to where you initially pressed the bind. In the prone position, this has you roll over to either the left or the right and is often used for players to play dead and try to catch someone off guard so that they seem like they're dead, they come up to loot them, and then they just get killed. The final movement bind I'd like to address is available in other games, but not in a ton of AAA titles. This is the free look. This allows you to turn your head while you're running and is basically limited to whatever your neck could swivel on. So by using the middle mouse button and turning to the left or the right, you can turn your head while continuing to sprint in the same direction that you were sprinting in. The next section that we'll be talking about is going to be gun control. This game, unlike many of the other games, gives you much more control over your gun than most games do. Rather than the standard aim, fire, reload, there are many more options within Escape from Tarkov due to the different levels of complexity within the game. The first portion of the gun control section will be regarding ammo management. So the first find here is your normal reload. However, in Escape from Tarkov, this does work differently in other games. So although the key is R, which is very simple, this works differently than what you're used to in other games. This does not just top off your magazine the way that it does in something like Call of Duty. For example, if you've shot 15 bullets out of a mag, if you reload, it will actually physically take the mag that has 15 bullets in it, put that into your rig, and then put a 30 bullet mag, or the fullest mag that you have in your rig, back into your gun. Now, what this means is now your gun is fully loaded, yes. However, the mag that you placed in your rig will not be fully loaded. It is still at whatever amount of ammo you shot out of it. So you actually have to physically take ammo and place it into that mag in order to get that mag topped back up to full. One additional reload tip here that goes along with the regular reloading is that you can double tap the R button, and this will allow you to do a quick reload. What this does is it actually physically drops the mag and just grabs another one from your rig and places that in there. This is considerably faster than a regular reload. The caveat here is that you will have to come back and pick up your mag later if you were in the middle of a fight and forgot where you dropped it. The next keybind is related to ammo management, but actually basically just brings up a part of your UI that is normally hidden. There is no toggle for the UI to show you what you have in your mag the way that you can do this in Call of Duty or in Rainbow Six. It just doesn't exist at all within the standard user interface. Instead, you must physically pull the mag out of your gun and look inside the mag and get an estimation of how much ammo is in that mag. In this game, this is default bound to Alt and T. This will have your character check it. It'll tell you about how much is in the mag, and in addition to that, it'll tell you what ammo is in there. Due to the different ballistics in Tarkov, there's a lot of different kinds of ammo. We'll go into that in a different video, but this will tell you how much you have and what kind of ammo it is. The next keybind available changes your firing mode. This is pretty universal in most games, but in Escape from Tarkov, it seems to be used a lot more frequently, as with many early weapon builds, the single fire options are much better than the fully automatic firing options, depending on the scenario that you're in. Most guns have 2 firing options, however, there are up to 3 firing modes on some guns like the MP5 and the MP5K, which I believe both have burst fire. In addition to the ability to change your firing mode, just like with how much ammo is in your gun, you cannot see what firing mode you are on within the user interface. So by pressing Alt and B, you can actually physically check your firing mode, and in the bottom right corner, it will pop up and tell you what firing mode you are currently on. The next weapon bind is going to be regarding tactical devices. So tactical devices in Escape from Tarkov are much more useful than they are in a lot of different FPSs. Any laser or flashlight on your gun in Escape from Tarkov gives you a massive hipfire buff, and flashlights are very blinding in most combat situations. These can be toggled off or on by using the T key, but only if equipped to that gun. In addition to this, many of the different tactical devices have multiple different options, so you can have a laser or a flashlight or both. This can be controlled by using Control plus T. This will switch between the different options that tactical device provides. Just like in other games, holding your breath in Tarkov is just as important, if not more, due to the importance of getting that one shot to the head in a lot of different situations. Alt is the key to start holding your breath in this game, but be sure to watch your stamina as you do have a limited time to hold your breath. The next weapon handling keybinds are related to zeroing. If you don't know what zeroing is, I'll have a separate video explaining all of that later on, and how it works in real life and how it's intended to work in Escape from Tarkov. It does seem that with the new updates and the addition of the rangefinder, this has improved drastically, but in short, to raise your zeroing distance, you will press page up, and to shorten your zeroing distance, you will press page down. With this, in the bottom right of your screen, you'll be able to see what you're currently zeroed at, whether it be 50, 100, 150 meters, and so on. In Tarkov, not only can you put multiple sights on different weapons, but you can put multiple sights on single weapons. You can use a zoom scope with a side mount and one-time sight, and quickly change between these by using right-click and left control. I personally switched this onto a mouse button because it's much easier for me to do that and switch between the different sights whenever I'm in really intense combat situations than it is for me to click control and then the right click. Just like having different sights on a gun, many of the different scopes also have different magnifications. So to be able to switch between different magnifications, you'll have to click right click and left alt. Again, for this one, I put this on a mouse button just for comfort, because in a lot of situations I needed to zoom in very quickly in order to hit a snipe as somebody's running across a field or something like that. But I did put this on my mouse button so I could do it much more quickly. One quick note before the final two binds is, now that BSG has introduced malfunctions, you will have to press L to inspect your weapon anytime that you notice that you're getting a malfunction, and then after inspecting the weapon and identifying that malfunction, you'll have to press Shift plus T in order to get rid of that malfunction. My recommendation is to put the inspect weapon button on the press version of whatever button you pick, and then put the fix malfunction on a release version of whatever that button is that you've chosen. Final two binds that we're going to go over here for weapon handling are different options for blind fire, allowing you to shoot around or over different things without exposing your body. By using left alt and W, you can blind fire over any object that you are near, and then by using left alt and S, you can blind fire around whatever item you are near. I have heard that a lot of people change this to another bind as well so that they can use it easily in combat. However, I just don't use this mechanic enough to change it to something else, but I may do so in the future. The final section will be addressing different ways of collecting information and also managing inventory. The first keybind that I personally find important for really new players is pressing O or double tapping O. This will show you the timer in the top right of the screen left in the raid, in addition to all of your different extractions available. Now, my personal recommendation is to just change the extractions to a single tap of O, because that will in addition already show you the timer. So I normally just unbind the O from timer and bind it to showing extraction. Moving on to your inventory management. So for inventory management, the first option is pressing tab in order to open your inventory. From here, you can manage your inventory, your health, and you can view statistics and skills as well. A few very important inventory management keybinds early on that need to be taken note of. For new players, using the middle mouse button will allow you to examine, so that you don't have to right click and examine an item in raid. You can just examine everything on the player that you kill as you're trying to loot him, and it'll very quickly examine the items rather than right clicking and examining each individual item. Using the delete key will immediately drop whatever item that you are hovering over. You can use this to drop your rig, bag, helmet, whatever you need to drop in order to equip another player's items if need be. In addition to this though, if you are trying to drop your bag, there is a much faster keybind for this. If you just double tap the Z key, it will drop your bag in the middle of a fight or whatever you may be doing. Some of the most important inventory management binds, in my opinion, are the quick move and quick equip binds. To immediately move an item from whatever you're looking at into what Tarkov considers the most relevant spot for it, you will hold left control and you will tap left click on the item that you are trying to move. This will take it and put it in your bag or in your rig, whatever Tarkov deems most relevant based on whether it's ammo, food, money. Different things are put in different places. If you want to immediately equip an item to an area that you do not have an item equipped, you can hold Alt and then click left click on that item. This will immediately take a helmet, put it on your head, take a rig, put it in your rig slot, whatever it is. However, that spot does have to be empty. You cannot have something currently equipped in that spot for you to equip it. When you're using the quick move options, this will automatically move any item into your bag or into your inventory wherever it fits. But if you are manually filling and you have a specific organization that you want to have, then by using the R button, you can rotate different items to get them into the organization that you specifically are looking for. In addition to this, if the item that you're holding is foldable, for example, a gun with a stock that's foldable or anything of that nature, you can press the middle mouse while hovering over it or while holding it, and it will immediately fold that stock. Tarkov has a huge amount of keybinds available and will continue to have more keybinds as you gain more control over your character with more updates. Hopefully this guide will help speed up the learning curve for a lot of new players who are struggling with the vast amount of keybinds that are available, and will hopefully help with situations where these keybinds are necessary. If you found this video was helpful, it would be much appreciated if you would drop a like and comment down below letting me know that you enjoyed this kind of content. Also, it would be much appreciated if you would let me know down below whether you found this helpful to you or whether you think this will be helpful to new players. And if you know any new players that may need help with getting keybinds ready, send them this video so that you can give them an easy explanation of what these keybinds do, so that you don't have to explain, well, reloading works differently in this game than it does in other games. If you felt that this video was helpful to you and you are a new player and are struggling to get into Tarkov or are looking for a way to get into Tarkov quicker or easier, I would recommend checking out my Lost in Tarkov playlist. This is going to be a playlist that's specifically designed for newer players who feel like they're lost or who feel like they're having trouble getting into Tarkov or just struggling with the vast amount of information that you need to be successful in this game. I recommend subscribing, checking out that playlist, and with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.